Hello, practice monkeys. We will be talking about the technique being studied in Minuet today. Hello. Welcome back to our series on Minuet number 2. I have one more installment today of technique that you need to work on for Minuet number 2, and it is kind of like the hardest part of the piece. So this one you will have to practice quite a bit. Now, one thing that I know about practice that maybe you've discovered, I'm not sure, but for me, it took me a little while to discover it, but once I did, it made sense. And that is that the harder part of the piece needs to be played a whole lot more than the easier parts. So you have that hard part in the piece that is really difficult for your fingers. It'll take a while for your fingers to get used to the finger pattern or the bowing or the slurring or whatever it is. You're going to have to play that like 50 times more than the rest of the piece. So if you play the piece every day, you should be playing that part 10 times. So isolate that part, play it 10 times, then play your piece, because you will need that extra practice time for the hard part. Okay? So just remember that when you're working on these techniques for the hard parts. Okay? Now, you have this tricky fingering position right after the first part. So I'm going to play just the beginning of the second part of the piece. And there's the part right there. So I'm going to play it again. That's not too difficult. Not too bad. Here it is. High 3, 4. And that D sharp catches you every time. So let's get that D sharp in tune, okay? So you have this little triplet. Now you've already played the triplet a little bit because you have it here. So this is just the triplet on the E string. So you have the triplet and then 1 B, D sharp, and then 4. 1 D sharp, 4. So it's B, D sharp, E. Now watch. Do you see my fingers? They are right close to each other, aren't they? Yes, see that? Almost like I'm right on top of the third finger. Okay, so you have 1, high 3. There's 2 whole steps in there. You see those 2 whole steps? You have to be sure to space your notes correctly so that you get that really nice D sharp exactly where it's supposed to be. So you play triplet, B, reach up, and then 4. So triplet, again, now the fingering is pretty cool there, and you do have to go over the fingering a bit to make sure that you're playing it correctly. So you have the up, so B to D sharp, 2 up bows, and then you have a down bow on the 4, which is just the note E, right? And then you lift back up to play the D sharp again, but instead of playing 4, you cross over to E and play E, F sharp. So this is kind of tricky in the fingering. You make sure that you look in your book and see that fingering, and you listen to the CD and make sure you know what those notes are supposed to sound like. But sometimes it's hard to play them slowly because you hear them fast. It's hard to slow them down in your ear. So go ahead and just watch this video. I'll play it slow a couple of times, and then you go ahead and try it. And there you go. You'll get it. Remember, repetition is the mother of learning, but you're not learning it if you're not playing it right. So make sure you play it right over and over and over, and you will see it get easier. You will feel it get easier. You will hear it getting easier. Okay? You got this. I will see you in practice. Bye-bye.